This is the story of Queen Cleopatra. In the annals of history, few names resonate with the power and intrigue that surrounds Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. This iconic queen captivated the hearts and minds of those around her, leaving an indelible mark on the ancient world. But what was it about Cleopatra that made her story so captivating? Let's explore her life and legacy to find out. Cleopatra was born on January 69 BC in the Egyptian city of Alexandria. She was the daughter of King Ptolemy XII and his sister wife Cleopatra V. From a young age, Cleopatra displayed remarkable abilities. She was said to be highly intelligent, possessing a sharp mind and a thirst for knowledge. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Cleopatra was well educated and could speak fluently in several languages, including Egyptian, Greek, Hebrew, and Latin. This linguistic talent enabled her to connect with people from various cultures and backgrounds, helping to forge alliances and understanding during a time when the Mediterranean world was becoming increasingly interconnected. Her journey to the throne began when her father died unexpectedly. According to historical accounts, he was accidentally struck by a poisonous dart while visiting an apothecary. This tragic incident left Cleopatra as the sole heir to the throne. However, she was not alone in her pursuit of power. Her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, also had his eyes set on the crown. Despite being young, Cleopatra understood the importance of seizing the moment. At the age of 14, she took charge and officially proclaimed herself the new ruler of Egypt, marking the beginning of her reign as Cleopatra VII. But the path to securing her power was fraught with challenges. Cleopatra's younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, driven by his own ambitions, refused to accept her as the sole ruler. Instead, he sought to share power with her, creating a dual monarchy. This unexpected turn of events tested Cleopatra's resilience and strategic thinking. Faced with this setback, Cleopatra didn't back down. She remained steadfast in her determination to rule as the sole monarch of Egypt. The situation soon escalated into a full-blown conflict between Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII. It was a battle for the very soul of the kingdom. In the end, Cleopatra's resolve paid off. She emerged victorious from the power struggle, establishing her dominance and securing her place as the sole ruler of Egypt. This early victory demonstrated her strength and cunning, setting the stage for the challenges that lay ahead. During this period, Egypt found itself at a critical crossroads. The kingdom was caught in the midst of a power struggle between two formidable empires, the Roman Republic and the Kingdom of Pontus. Each empire sought to exert its influence over Egypt, recognizing its strategic importance in the region. Amidst this external pressure, Cleopatra needed allies to safeguard her kingdom's interests. Enter Julius Caesar, the Roman general and statesman who played a pivotal role in the late Roman Republic. His reputation as a conqueror and leader preceded him. Cleopatra recognized Caesar's power and potential and saw an opportunity to form a strategic alliance that would benefit both parties. By forming this alliance, Cleopatra aimed to secure Egypt's independence and protect it from the ambitions of her rivals. Their partnership was not merely a political strategy, but it soon evolved into a genuine romantic relationship. Accounts from ancient historians tell of a passionate love affair between Cleopatra and Caesar, further solidifying their bond. Theirs was a love story that captivated the ancient world and left a lasting impression on history. As their relationship deepened, Cleopatra bore Caesar two sons, Ptolemy XV and Caesarion, thus cementing the connection between the Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt and the powerful Roman Empire. Their alliance proved successful in repelling external threats, bringing stability to Egypt during a turbulent period. It was a testament to Cleopatra's diplomatic skills and strategic vision that she managed to secure her kingdom's independence while forging a deep personal relationship with one of the most influential figures of her time. Unfortunately, Julius Caesar's assassination in 44 BC cast a long shadow over Cleopatra's life. The political turmoil that followed his death sent shock waves throughout the empire and beyond. The assassination not only shook the foundations of Roman power, but also left Cleopatra's future and that of Egypt uncertain. Amidst this upheaval, Cleopatra found herself entangled in the complex web of Roman politics. She aligned herself with Caesar's adopted son and heir, Octavian, now known as Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. This strategic decision was a pivotal moment in Cleopatra's life, setting the stage for both her personal and political destiny. However, the winds of change were already blowing across the Mediterranean. Another Roman general, Mark Antony, had emerged as a powerful player on the political stage. Antony, known for his military prowess and ambition, had his sights set on expanding Roman influence, which brought him into conflict with Octavian's forces. As the struggle for power intensified, Antony found himself in a precarious position. To secure his position and counter Octavian's growing influence, he sought the support of Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. This alliance between two of the most powerful figures of their time promised to shake the foundations of the Roman world. Their partnership was more than just a political alliance. It soon blossomed into a passionate love affair. Ancient accounts describe a deep and intense relationship between Antony and Cleopatra. They shared a mutual admiration and respect, and their love story became a legend in its own right. This passionate romance added a layer of complexity to their political partnership, making it all the more intriguing. As Antony and Cleopatra's relationship deepened, they went on to have 3 children together, further solidifying their bond and intertwining their fates. It was an extraordinary love story that unfolded against the backdrop of a turbulent and power-hungry Rome. Theirs was a partnership forged in ambition, love, and the desire for power. Yet, it was a union that would ultimately lead to their downfall. The alliance between Mark Antony and Cleopatra alarmed Octavian, who saw their growing power as a threat to his own ambitions. He feared that their partnership would undermine his authority and potentially disrupt the fragile balance of power in the Roman world. The conflict between Octavian and Antony reached its climax in the famous Battle of Actium. In 30 BC, it was a naval engagement that pitted Antony and Cleopatra's forces against those of Octavian. The outcome of this battle would have profound consequences for the fate of Egypt and Cleopatra's own destiny. As the battle raged, Cleopatra's fleet, adorned with her iconic symbol, the asp, fought bravely against Octavian's forces. Despite their valiant efforts, Cleopatra and Antony suffered a decisive defeat. The consequences of their loss were far-reaching. Octavian's victory at Actium paved the way for him to consolidate his power and establish the First Roman Empire. For Cleopatra and Antony, the defeat marked the beginning of the end. Following their defeat at Actium, Cleopatra and Mark Antony retreated to Alexandria, knowing that they could not stand against Octavian's might. They had lost the support of key allies, and their enemies had gained control of the seas. Realizing the gravity of their situation, Cleopatra and Antony prepared to defend their kingdom to the last. They assembled what remained of their forces, determined to resist Octavian's encroaching power. Despite their valiant efforts, the fall of Alexandria seemed inevitable. Octavian's forces, under the command of his general Agrippa, laid siege to the city. The siege of Alexandria was a prolonged and intense affair. Cleopatra and Antony's forces fought fiercely to repel the attacks, but they were outnumbered and eventually the defenses began to weaken. As the situation grew more desperate, Cleopatra found herself torn between 2 difficult choices. On one hand, she could surrender to Octavian, hoping for a favorable deal that would ensure the survival of her kingdom. On the other hand, she could resist to the bitter end, fighting to the death rather than submitting to her enemies. Torn by these conflicting choices, Cleopatra struggled to decide the best course of action. The weight of her decision, knowing it would shape the fate of Egypt and her people, pressed heavily upon her. Finally, Cleopatra made her choice. Instead of surrendering or fighting to the end, she opted for a more dramatic solution. Legend has it that Cleopatra chose to take her own life rather than submit to Octavian's forces. The tale goes that she allowed a venomous snake, known as an asp, to bite her, bringing about her demise. This act of self-determination, though tragic, allowed Cleopatra to maintain her dignity and protect her kingdom from falling into enemy hands. Cleopatra's choice to end her own life was a bold and tragic one. It was a desperate measure to escape the clutches of her enemies and preserve the legacy of her kingdom. The story of Cleopatra has captivated the imagination of people for centuries. Her intelligence, charisma, and determination in the face of adversity make her a compelling figure in history. Whether you admire her for her strategic prowess or mourn the tragic end of her story, there's no denying that Cleopatra's legacy continues to endure. We hope you enjoyed this video on the life and death of Queen Cleopatra. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on all our latest content. Thanks for watching.